Let's get to the news. President-elect Trump will be sworn in next week for his second term. Well, I'm out, said everyone doing dry January. President Biden on Wednesday is set to deliver his farewell address from the Oval Office, though I think he already did that during the first debate. Bye. Bye. Former Vice President Mike Pence revealed on Friday what he said to President-elect Trump at President Jimmy Carter's state funeral. It was, "No, I don't know how long this is going to take." Fox and Friends aired an interview today with incoming First Lady Melania Trump. "So, how's Donald?" asked Melania. In the same interview, Melania Trump said that she's excited for another 4 years in the White House. In fact, when she found out her husband had won, she went from this to this. In a new interview on Joe Rogan's podcast, Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg criticized Apple and said that the rival tech company hasn't, quote, really invented anything great in a while. And I gotta say, there's nothing quite like hearing you're out of good ideas from the guy who invented Threads. Beer company Anheuser-Busch announced yesterday that they will be raising keg prices by $5 for New York City customers. In response, your landlord raised your rent by $500. Sony last week unveiled a new gaming concept that will allow users to smell video games, though I'm not sure I want to know what these two smell like when they get off work. Well, we're back from the sewer. And finally, Dunkin' has partnered with a personal care brand to offer a new collection of deodorant, shampoo, conditioner, and body wash in a Boston cream scent. And in a related story, Ben Affleck has been eaten by ants. Ahead of President-elect Trump's inauguration, the Secret Service said this week that it will put up more miles of security fencing than it has for any other event in history, because it would be terrifying if any of these guys ever got out. The Village People are set to perform on Sunday at the Turning Point inaugural Eve Ball. It will be the first time Trump has ever paid a construction worker on time. Former Trump advisor Steve Bannon criticized Elon Musk in an interview with an Italian newspaper last week and said, quote, "He's a truly evil guy, a very bad guy. I made it my personal thing to take this guy down. And you know what they say, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, unless it's Steve Bannon." That's right, Bannon told an Italian newspaper that he would have Elon Musk, quote, "run out of the MAGA movement by Inauguration Day." "Oh, he runs out on his own," said his kids. The Supreme Court is set to hear a challenge this week to the constitutionality of state laws restricting access to pornographic websites. It's the first court case where witnesses will not raise their right hand. I think they can make it through a testimony without doing it. According to a new poll, former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo leads Mayor Eric Adams and other Democratic candidates in a prospective mayoral primary. Here's how the numbers break down. Google confirmed last week that it has donated $1 million to President-elect Trump's inaugural fund. And this is nice. Bing ponied up $50. According to a new survey of tourists, New York is the least friendly state in the country, though I do have to ask, did those tourists ever consider getting out of the damn way? People work in this city. They got places to be. Pepsi has unveiled a new wild cherry and cream flavor, which the company describes as having a, quote, silky mouthfeel. And it's the first time in history a can of soda has been asked to report to HR. But what do you mean by silky mouthfeel? Can you see how that would make other people uncomfortable? Florida police are referring to a pair of alleged thieves as Mr. Clean and Miss Dookie after they say a man stole $500 worth of cleaning products from a Family Dollar while his accomplice defecated on the floor. When asked if they had any leads, police said, "No, we spent most of our time coming up with nicknames." Finally, the ice cream company Jeni's has unveiled a new green smoothie flavor which features spinach. It's the first ever ice cream where the headache is the best part. President Biden announced today that Israel and Hamas have agreed to a ceasefire and hostage deal slated to go into effect this Sunday. Wow, one day before inauguration. That's going to make it awfully hard for Donald Trump to take credit for. Oh, well, I guess not that hard. Not that hard at all. Nailed it. Took credit right away. There you go. President Biden delivered his farewell address from the Oval Office tonight after more than a half-century of public service, and by the time he was finished, there wasn't an open eye in the House. That's right, President Biden delivered his farewell address tonight from the Oval Office. I'm kind of surprised. Based on how badly he wanted to be president, I thought there was a small chance he would Scarface it. It's my little friend. Say hello to him, Attorney General Merrick Garland yesterday publicly released special counsel Jack Smith's report into President-elect Trump's efforts to overturn the 2020 election. Oh, a little late, my bro. Anything else you want to release? Like maybe Lincoln's autopsy? I don't even think they had that font then. President Biden announced this week that he will name 2 new aircraft carriers after former presidents Bill Clinton and George W. Bush. Said one man, "Is this because I endorse Kamala?" While testifying yesterday in his Senate confirmation hearing, Defense Secretary nominee Pete Hegseth said the country is incredibly fortunate to have President-elect Trump because, quote, "our enemies know that there's a new sheriff in town, not to mention a new town drunk." During his Senate confirmation hearing, Hegseth also said, quote, "our incoming businessman president believes in accountability. You know, in the same way he believes in vegetables. He knows they exist, he just doesn't want any." President-elect Trump reportedly golfed yesterday with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. I don't know how Trump played, but DeSantis definitely lost 2 balls. In a new interview, incoming First Lady Melania Trump said that her first priority is to be a mom. Well, I mean, it has to be when you're a single parent. Eric Trump is reportedly in talks to relaunch Trump Vodka, so now he really wants the job. In honor of Valentine's Day, Applebee's has launched 2 new cocktails, but if you've been taken to Applebee's on Valentine's Day, you're gonna need way more than 2. In his farewell address last night, President Biden warned that an oligarchy is taking shape in America that, quote, "literally threatens our entire democracy, our basic rights and freedoms. But at the same time, you don't want to be rude." President Biden signed an executive order today to strengthen defense for federal computer networks, and who better to give cybersecurity tips than an 82-year-old great-grandfather? Hey, folks, you gotta make sure your password has at least 1 special character. No joke. Talking exclamation point, hashtag. An inauguration event called the Crypto Ball is set to be held tomorrow in Washington, not to be confused with Crypto Balls, which is what happens when you get super into Bitcoin and nobody will date you. Vice President Kamala Harris is reportedly planning to write a book after leaving office. Look for it in your bookstore's How Not To section. I mean, it's just like based on events. President-elect Trump met yesterday with the head of the organizing committee of the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics, who told Trump in no uncertain terms that they have to wear tops. A nationwide ban of the social media platform TikTok is set to take effect on Sunday. Well, look who has to come crawling back to network television for their entertainment. Maybe I'll do... You like dances, right? I hope 60 minutes isn't too long for your attention span. I think this is the key to it. You have to pair it with a dance. A United Airlines passenger was fined $10,000 this week for urinating in his seat and aisle mid-flight after he mixed alcohol and Xanax. Even worse, another guy took off his shoes and socks. Walmart this week unveiled its new logo and is facing criticism online because it's similar to the old design. It's a subtle difference, but I guess the new one looks like a different cat walking away from you. Try to forget it. And finally, today was National Boston Day. Oh, good. Finally, an excuse for them to let loose. And that was a monologue, everybody. We are